Big letters add drama, right? Welcome back. It's Frostpunk 2. It's the Frostbite series. So, now, listen. Before we go any further, um, I need to be brutally honest with you. This is like the fourth time I've done this. it's week 518, which is when the storm ends. Um, Now, I did say, and I have said before, and I'm going to say it again, that Frostpunk, 11-bit studios, etc., they don't always tell you exactly what's going on, to be fair. So, what happened was that in my original playthrough, the one that you will have seen on the last episode, um, I got to the whiteout, and I thought that was fine. And we went through the whiteout, and I thought that was fine. And I got to the end of the whiteout, and everybody hated me. And I thought, well, that's fine. I'll sort that out. It turns out you can't sort that out. It turns out that that's a very, very, very difficult thing to do. Everybody being pissed off with you. And the reason that everybody gets pissed off with you, and the game doesn't tell you this, but take it from me, my experience is, if you're in the whiteout and you run out of fuel, that's it. Everybody goes red. There's no coming back from that I have found. Maybe you can find a way back from there, but for me, I tried it 3 times and I couldn't find a way back. So I had to go back a long ways to essentially figure out that what you need to do is you need to sort out these stockpiles. So in terms of where I was when the whiteout started, when I did this playthrough, I'm calling this my successful playthrough at this stage. I had 70,000 stockpile of coal, and I had 204,000 stockpile of oil. So it took 270,000 stockpile of material, and I've got 90,000 left. So I'm doing okay from that perspective. Now, on the other perspective, I have opened up some things, but basically, when the whiteout hit, I closed off everything. So I closed off all of the extraneous things. There's no point in having logistics district because you can't go anywhere anyway. So you close those off, and everything else is just taking away heat from the core districts. So I basically just shut everything down, went into the core districts, and I turned all of the core districts down to or at least tried to get them to at least chilly. Right? I wasn't going to be livable about this. The central one was livable, but everything else was kind of down and chilly. So an awful lot of stuff has been switched off, which is fine. So how did I achieve that? Well, I figured this out, and it took a little bit of thinking, but I did figure it out. I need to send some more people over here. It looks like we've got some spare capacity here. So it turns out that remember I was saying about this transporting materials? Yes, you can do this every week. So this is a weekly thing. And it happens instantaneously. It's fantastic. So you go over here and you go to the stockpiles, right? And it says send 5,000 resources here from another city. So what that means is if you were over here and hit this, it would send 5,000 resources from New London. What I obviously wanted to do was be on this side. So this will show you the stockpile there. The first time around, it doesn't show you it again, which is like truly annoying. Truly, it would be good to see that pop up every time. But sadly it does not. So if I go back there and do this again, I will show you what the stockpile says, because it does disappear after a little bit. 23,000. So it's 23,000. So if you go over here and you hit this once, you'll see that the stockpile amount on the left hand side drops a little bit. That's the bottom bar. Right? So it went red and it dropped a little. That's 5,000 resources. That's another 5. That's 10,000 resources. That's 15,000 resources, so that's fine. They're chewing through their resources, so we probably don't need to do that. There is a limit to how many things you can do. They've got plenty of food. They're making some of that. They're not making any of that. We don't have a stockpile of material, but we can definitely do that. And we can say transfer resources. Right. That has now happened. So we now have 10,000 coal. No, sorry, this is the wrong place. Ooh, that has now happened. So if we go over New London, and we now have a look up here, you will see that we have gained now, obviously, 15,000 because that's what I took. So there you go. So that's what I had to do. What I had to do was I had to go a week, and obviously I set these guys on emergency shifts, and I was cranking these guys out. I was making them work hard. So I was cranking this as much as I can, creating stockpile hubs, and really throwing as much as I could into stockpiling oil as much as I could at New London, so that we could survive the storm. And you can see the storms moving across the map. So as the storm moves across the map, these things become things that we can't use because they'll be shut down by the storm. So I lost a whole lot of stuff over here, but then it arrived here, which is fine. And that's that. I also learned. Do you remember I got a little bit confused by some things, especially this one. So although this said depleted of resources, you can actually turn it into a settlement. So it wasn't depleted of resources. So I managed to turn that into settlement. So that was shipping me coal. I went back and managed this. So this was shipping me coal. It's showing red, I think, because why? I don't really know. Probably because I don't know. We're short of something. Um, No, I don't. Maybe it thinks. I don't know. Don't know what it thinks. This one doesn't have a connection. I don't know how this one's connecting because it doesn't have a connection. This one needs to be connected. That will do us goods. We have some materials over here which is connected. So yeah, so basically I went through and did all that and sorted all that out and kept all that going, and that's what kept me alive. It took me a few goes to work that out. I can tell you, a few goes to work that out. That were the thing that I needed to do. Now these guys, the pilgrims keep asking me for a patrol watchtower. Unfortunately, I haven't researched that. It's in. Is it in city or is it society? It's in society. So it's here, patrol watchtower. Now it says it's already researched. And this has been driving me a bit potty, because it was here we are. So you can see up there that this is owned by them. This district is owned by them. It's got their little symbol on it, which is great. That disappeared during the whiteout. They're not owned by anybody, but this is owned by them. So if I wanted to, I would have to go back here, and I would have to do a building, and I would have to go to a watchtower. But I don't know where this watchtower is. This calls it a surveillance watchtower, which is weird. And I don't know where else it would be. It says I have the option of building this patrol watchtower, but I have not found it. So I am very confused. Research, pressurized, ventilation, actuated, isolation, and surveillance, which is not the same. I've built surveillance watchtowers, I think I don't even know. No, I can't because I'm short of some stamps. Um, I built some watchtowers for these people, and it didn't work. Is this on? Because I hope it's off. Turn it off. Don't need it. That other one is off. Yeah, so I'm a bit confused by that patrol watchtower building thing. Um, and I think I'm gonna fail that. How much would we need for that? We need 80. How close are we? We'll probably never get built in time. We'll try. So this is their district, like I said. What's that? No, that's a generator adaptive cheese bag. These are all hubs. So let's go over here to housing. And we'll say, okay, this is your surveillance watchtower. Um, which I can't even build over there. Why can't I build it? Why can I not build it over there? What is this you? Oh, you've already, they already even have a watchtower. So you're not a watchtower. You're not one of them. You're not one of them. You are one of them. Do you have anything? Doesn't look like you do. So if I was to say to you, could I put that there? Am I going to build that in time before it runs out? It's going to be a close run thing. See? No. So it hasn't satisfied them that that's the same thing. So it's very definitely the right clan. Um, but it's not the right object. So I don't know what that is, and I don't know why that's happening. It's very confusing. So I must remember never ever to accept building a patrol watchtower again. Maybe there's another bit of technology that I need. Maybe there's some kind of law I need to have passed that I haven't quite figured out. But it seems a bit crazy, and I can't get that to work. So there you go. So in any event, what are we doing here after all this chinwag? Well, it took me a few goes, but I'm now everybody's happy-ish down here at the bottom. These guys are favorable. Could I get them to de-radicalize the pilgrims again? I'll do that. Because the pilgrims were getting a little bit crazy. I need the New Londoners to de-radicalize these guys, but I need the New Londoners to be favourable. These guys are currently favourable. So I've been working hard on trying to get the New Londoners up to keep the stalwarts at bay, because the stalwarts are a pain. So I've been working hard on these two without pissing these two off too much, which is what it is. So we're into chapter 3, Blimey, O'Reilly, Captain Governor. Which means I just need to take a few minutes to take stock, sort a few things out. It literally just has left. The whiteout just has left. So I need to sit down. I need to check a few things. I need to make sure my supply lines are working. Where there are things that I need to bring in, like there might be a connection that we could make from over here. Doesn't look like there is, but I don't really know about that one. This one, whatever's happening over here, why it's red, I don't know. Does that mean it's working? I don't know. I turned Tesla City into a little settlement, so that's fully upgraded, which has increased my research speed, which is awesome. So yeah, so there's a few things I want to do, but ultimately we are heading to Winterhome. This is Winterhome down here. This is no, this is the Windward Moor. Where's Winterhome? This is Winterhome? No, that's Fortitude Base. Where the effing hell is Winterhome? I thought I already found it. Is that it? No. Is it hidden in there? Is it hidden under there somewhere? Is that where Winterhome is? Anyway, Winterhome. I think it is. I think it's hidden under that storm. Yeah, no, that's the Cursed Valley. Right, I'm pretty sure Winterhome's around here somewhere. I don't know what one it is. That's the Winterhome Bridge. I reckon it's out here, hidden under all this guff. So, I need to wait for the storm to pass, because we can't get to Winterhome anywhere anyway to prepare Winterhome for colonization. So, the long shot is, it took me a while. You need an awful lot of stuff. I didn't realize that. I also didn't realize that I could have been making better use of these outlying settlements. I do now. and I need to manage the relationship between the people, which is becoming. It seems like it's becoming more touchy in terms of decision making. So I need to work on that, and I possibly need to move a few people over to the old dreadnought to try and free up some space in New London, and also because the old dreadnought could do with a little bit more people in it for a few bits and pieces of bobs. I could put up some industries there. I could use that for a few bits and pieces of stuff. That is all stuff that I'm going to do offline, and I will bring you in when we are getting close to Winterhome. So if you're waiting on that, that's great. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all when we're ready to do Winterhome, shall I? I'll see you soon. Right, welcome back. Some time has elapsed. Was it week 593? Just because I'm not in a hurry. I mean, I suppose I could have got here sooner, but I've just been messing about with a few things. So yes, look, here it is. I had to wait for the storm to go away. That took a little while, and then yes, look, here it is. Here is where Winterhome is, and I've established a path to here, and I now want to establish a colony. And it says that I need to send some colonists, which is great. So that's not what I wanted. Thank you. That's what I wanted. It's funny how it does that. It's a bit of an odd. I've already spoken about the condition with the menus. I'll just talk to you about something in a second, based on what I was saying previously. Send colonists. So. Right. Yeah, we're ready. We're as ready as we're ever gonna be, I think. Send the colonists. Recruit, well, just everybody. Just go everybody. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Is anything happening? Do I get a cutscene? No? I say everybody loves me because everybody loves me. Look at that. I'm awesome. I am, there's no tension. And my bar along the bottom is Fan Debula Dozy. They're devoted to me. They're favorable to me. They're also devoted to me, and they're also devoted to me. So we're all doing pretty good, which is great. So everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Dave, that's just balancing stuff, doing some research here, building a building there. We've got a few bunches of things. We've got hospitals in here, which is great. They're healing people, so I don't really have sick people in New London anymore, which is obviously fantabulous. Some of them wanted ventilation towers, some of them wanted other things, which reminds me. So, remember I was saying about, what was I saying? I was talking about patrol towers and surveillance watch towers, right? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you see how there's two little diamonds next to this one? And way over in the bottom of the menu in the far right is a thing that says next variant. Yeah, it turns out it turns out if you hit the triangle you get another variant. So this has two variants. It has the moss filtration tower, which is great because it reduces squalor without reducing temperature. This is the ventilation tower, which reduces temperature and reduces squalor, as always. Slightly less people on this one, slightly more people on that one, and we have actuated dispatchers and heat dispatchers and stuff. So, if you're shouting at the TV screen or whatever you're watching this on and going, "You Burke," yeah, well done to you for spotting that you can actually switch between those variants. So that's where the variants are, and you'll find them next to with the little triangles. And that explains a few things. so that explains a few things, um, and um, I don't even know, is that in here? Where is that in here? That would be under what would it be under? Would it be under buildings? I bet you it says something about buildings, and it says that there's a different variant somewhere. That Yeah, there we are. Developing new ideas. They'll come with a different variant. It doesn't actually explain very well. So yeah, fair points to me for the fact that actually it doesn't explain that very well. Um, they have these little videos, that's awesome, but there's no sound. I can't hear anything. There's no explanation, so I don't know what's going on. So again, I feel like sorry, but this should have probably been better explained, and hasn't been explained very well, in my opinion. So there you go. You can take that or leave it or complain or whatever. But that's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. Nah, boo sucks to the rest of you. So there you go. There you go. Um, Right, we're doing pretty well. I think this is it. I think that this is as far as it goes. So we've got some treacherous mountainous areas up the back here, which require quite a few people. There's a little high pass snuck in there. They require quite a few people. I don't think that I can do this with 10, can I? No, you need at least 20. So they require quite a few people to explore those. Now, you only have a finite number of teams, just to bear in mind. So when you set these up, you'll see here that for this one, which is turned off, it requires 10, 10 scouts, and I need those scouts for other things. So they've all been sent over here. Is essentially where they're going. It's going to take 7 weeks to sort out, which is fine. And we've got plenty of materials. Materials is not a big loss for us. So we got mats coming out of our ears, etc., etc. Some of these other places have now run out of food, so that's fine. So everything that's down to that point is now run out of food. That's all run out of food. This is running out of food. I think that's why it goes red. We're now down to our last 10k. So that's fine. It's running out of food, but that's okay. We'll need to eventually build more food supplies up. But we have quite a stockpile of food, so it's not going to be a major rush. This guy could do with becoming a settlement if I wanted to, but I need to get a core. That's fine. You can always, there are some buildings that you build that use cores. You can demolish those and retrieve your cores if you want to, or you can take in cores, find cores, etc. That's all well and good. So yeah, so there's a few little things to do. This place needs to be set up and doing whatever it's doing. So that explains a few things. I understand a few things a bit more. I've gotten over a few things a bit more. Our stockpiles are looking reasonably healthy on all fronts. They're looking reasonably healthy over here on all fronts. In fact, I think we might argue that we've actually got quite an abundance of oil over here, and we probably need to shift 5, 10. Is any of that going down? I think it is. You can see it dropping now. You can just send as much as you like, apparently. There's no limit. It just automatically switches it between the two. So I've dropped that down. I think I could, in theory, set that lower. I think is it sort of doing this automatically? I'm not sure. That should probably just be 0. But I can't, as we've said, I can't find a way to make it 0. That jumps past that one. They have a stockpile. I mean, I suppose I could try and do it that way. I think we're going to eventually run out of stuff. Yeah, that would ship that amount that way. It's still only -2, so it's easier, I think, from my perspective, to have that 0 and go over here and go 5, 10. And then they're full. They don't have only, they have a stockpile. That's fine. Plus and plus, they're balanced out. Hit transfer resources, and that happens. And that takes a little bit of the oil out of their reserves. They have now a whole bunch of materials, but they're working through it, which is fine. How else are they doing? They're doing okay. Everybody's housed. They've got a slight increase in squalor. I think. Does that have... Yeah, they have things in it. Does this one have something in it? There's one down here. It looks like it does. There's some ventilation towers in here, which is reducing squalor. That one's not switched on. So that's fine. They're fine. And... Sorry, New London. New London's fine. We've now got a stockpile of oil. We are working our way through stockpiles of other bits and pieces and mats and things, and we've got an increase in our food is fine. Everything's fine. So there you go. So everything's fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine, Dave. And we're just trying to wait for winter home. So I'm just gonna wait for that happen, and I will bring you back in. Wrong button. I will bring you back in when that is done. Okay. I shall see you very very shortly. Shortly. See you soon. Bye. Right, here we are. So, what we want to do, what do we want? So, the Winter Home expedition has arrived. The cores under the ruins could be used to further upgrade Newland's generator, bringing about the levels of warmth we never dreamt of. To reach the cores, we'd have to demolish the roads, split the earth open, and extract them quickly before toxicity renders Winter Home forever inhabitable. Or, we could bury most of the cores and build a new city. Our decision will shape the power balance between the pilgrims and the stalwarts. The pilgrims will greatly disapprove because the stalwarts will disapprove. So, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? I mean, I'd like to explore the opportunity to develop another city. To be honest, just personally myself, I'd like to explore the opportunity to develop another city, and be able to transfer resources and things through that other city, rather than just carry on with um, New London and Dreadnought on this map. Um, that is that a popular decision? I don't really know. So I reckon I'll go with settling Winterhome. Undermine any hope for the future the stalwarts wanted? Blimey. Could be a bit extreme, right? Big letters in your face. Uh, right. It's gonna be tricky. The remnant toxic gas springs will spew toxic fumes we have to frostbreak and contain all toxic fissures before the gas concentration becomes lethal. Right, okay.
Winter home colonist.
Just be shush now. 45 weeks. So we have to tap into all gas springs using a fume filtration district. Um, right. Right. Time. I hate time sensitive stuff. So a fume. What now? A fume filtration district. So I think these are all the districts we've seen now. I can't select between the two. I see that, pardon me, that the district little selector moves between the two in a kind of a stepwise way, but I don't think there's actually a district in there. So I think we've now seen all the districts: logistics, industrial extraction, food, housing, and now fume filtration. Fume filtration requires a core. I see. I see. Right, so we need cores. Blast your eyes. So that's something to do first. There's no cores there. There's potentially cores there, and it's safe. Great. You go do that one. Thanks. What about you? Potentially cores, but it's deadly. Alright, okay. What about you? Stealth Valley? What was that? Steam Valley. Doesn't say. Sorry. Down here. Down here is this selector is annoying. Right. Down here is that. That's dangerous, but doable. Right, and then that's also dangerous, but we're out, and that is deadly. Right, so we've sent them off to look for some cores, because frankly, sir, we're gonna need some cores. Right, I got stuff to do, haven't I? I've got stuff to do. Move some stuff around, organize some things. I got some spare capacity people. I probably want to make sure we're getting enough mats and food and whatever else. Are you making food? Looks like you are making food. Yeah, they're doing. I can connect trails. There's stuff. There's stuff I need to do. I'm gonna get on and do that, and then I'll bring you in hopefully with good news when I've stabilized Winterhome. Right? That's the plan. I'll see you then. Ta-ta. Right, okay. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? So we've done that. All toxic gas springs have been closed. Toxic gas no longer threatens Winterhome, and the frost sand can indeed become our home. So there you go. So that's an important milestone. I don't know if this is generic. There's three of them here. There's three of them here. How do you know that? Well, when you go on to the one of the overlays, you will see you have here skull and crossbones. That's not a good sign. Not to be confused with this, which is a geothermal spring, which is a good sign, I think. We're researching geothermal power plants and various other bits and pieces. That said, obviously, as you can see up at the top here, the disease the disease levels are catastrophic. They're catastrophic, but they are diminishing. So we have lost quite a lot of people. When you go into the districts to build a housing district, it has improved. It was all red at one point. It has now come down, so it is not all red, and we can start rebuilding. So we can start rebuilding stuff. It wasn't without a little bit of friction. We had to build a couple of patrol watchtowers. Do you know how to build those? I know how to build those. We had to build. It's interesting the way that's growing up here. Look at this growing up in the city. I think we can we go and have a look at it? We can. Look, how do we get to view in? I think we can do this one. Is it this one? We can go and view it. Yeah. So you can see the. I can't quite see that. Oh, I was going to say you can see the. You can see the buildings on the hillside outside Winterhome, which is very interesting, right? So yeah. So we're here. We're in a deep crevasse in Winterhome, which is here. There are some more areas still opening up. So there's some mountain ranges. They're all pretty treacherous to try and get across, which seems pretty annoying. There's nothing else out this way, and there is nothing else south, and so on. So we're trying to explore some of that, which is fine. So we've got to redevelop Winterhome a little bit. We have to get them to have a population of 9,000. We're not quite halfway there yet, and we need to get cold, hunger, and disease absent. That might take a while, but it's just a process. It's just a process. So I will work through that. New London and Old Dreadnought are doing fine. Keeping the stalwarts happy is a bit of a challenge. They're not exactly my friends right now. I've kept the New Londoners happy so that I can de-radicalize them. So I've managed to de-radicalize everybody, so everybody's fine. And I'm slowly working my way through a variety of research things and bits and pieces to try and keep happy, and laws and various other bits and pieces. So there you go. It was just a process of working through and just prioritizing it. You need cores for each of these, which means I had to demolish some buildings in some of those places, which is not the end of the world. So I do have a little bit to go. So I will carry on with that. It is week 632, if you're keeping track. And I'll bring you back when we got a little bit further. I'll see you soon. Right, hello again. Right, well, we've achieved that. It's taken a little while, just a little while. Well done. We're nearly there. I guess that means we're near the end of this. It says that trouble is brewing in New London. What could possibly be going wrong in New London then? A faction radical. Right, okay. Alright, radicals from the stalwarts are determined to avenge the loss of the dream of warmth in Winterhome, huh? Right, so, The fit's about to hit the shan. Can we? These guys are devoted, so we had the opportunity. But it says it's two. We got 5 weeks until we can de-radicalize the stewards again. Not stewards, stalwarts. Sorry. So I've got to manage that very carefully. We've done a little bit more exploring, but we're running out of frost teams, and the reason we're running out of frostland teams is we've got a lot of them working in various mines and places and sing like and so forth. Um, and these guys, so many like dangerous, treacherous, and downright deadly places to go. Um, and I don't really want to do that. And we're building up here. There's a core extraction place here, which will hopefully bring me cores. We've done a geothermal power plant, which is interesting. So this is generating steam, generating 130 steam from a geothermal power plant. So you can see there up at the top that we now have coal, oil, and steam. So our fuel supply is where is in here in the Jenny. So in the generator, we don't have any coal coming here. We have 262 oil coming in, and we're burning our way through 524, and it'll be steam after that. So can you stockpile steam? How do you stockpile steam? I can prioritize that, so don't know if you know this. So I can move this up and down. So I can say, well, you know what? Let's prioritize the steam down to 0 because we can't store that. And we can store the oil, so we'll reduce the demand there. So now that we've got steam in place, and I'm using the auto allocate function, which you research, so everybody's living warm. Cold is not, pardon me, an issue. Pardon me. Housing is. We need to add a few more people because we're short of some houses. Want to get these cores going because I've promised to build like a standardized prefabs factory. Um, and then after that, I don't really want to make Winterhome bigger. I mean, I made Winterhome as big as I need to make it for the game. I suppose there is, if we have a look, there's some more steam we could do with. And there's another core that we could do with. And actually, if we bothered to get our way out here, there's cores up there. Some materials and things. We could head out this way, and we could grab some of this stuff. And we have some materials out here. This would reduce our reliance on the Frostland teams, so that makes quite a bit of sense. So there's a little bit of building still to do, but I don't really. I mean, I suppose we need to be mindful of population dynamics, etc., 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 etc. But if we can reduce their reliance on oil, that would be champion. And if we could reduce the Frostland teams that are required to be out here, that would also be champion. How long we've got until whatever the end of this is? We're on chapter 3. Chapter 4. Is it going to be a chapter 5? We're going to have another whiteout. How long does this go on for? I haven't got a clue. It is week 664, and we are closing in on something. So we've covered an awful lot of time in this one, and a lot of it is just grindfest kind of stuff. Nothing strange, startling, or exciting. You kind of know how the mechanics work. So carry on, and we'll just see what happens regarding New London, shall we? Right, so it's all coming to a bit of a head, assassinations in the council. So, what are we going to do? So we have three options here. We can banish the stalwarts. That is like, there you go. Um, convince them to abandon their identity and find a new home for those who refuse. So, I do I have to do that? What's the outcome for me on that? I have to do something. Seek reconciliation. I have to somehow find a way to chart the path down both sides, or enforce order, um, which is then adopting that hat of the dictator, perhaps. So where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? Right. I think banishing the stalwarts is a bit much. This could be just a rebel faction. This could be a whole bunch of other things. It isn't necessarily that everybody wants or approves of the assassination. One person, etc. Enforcing order seems to me that it's not actually addressing the problem. Because and then all I'm doing is managing fighting between the two, which is probably not going to be good, or the seek reconciliation. I think my current my current political standing with everybody is sufficiently high that I think seeking reconciliation may be a justifiable path. So I could be back here later doing this differently, um, but that's fine. I mean, overall, I kind of like and hope that these decisions matter to 11-bit studios and they've actually thought about this. And if you wanted to play this through multiple times, not sure I want to play it through multiple times, but if you wanted to 100% it and you want to play through multiple times, you could pick all the different scenarios. I mean, I suppose there's a number of different possible choices that you make as you go along. Do they all lead down this path? I have no idea. Um, is this, if you'd chosen to keep Winterhome as it was, sorry, if you'd chosen to completely destroy Winterhome, um, would you have this, but it was the other way around? It was the Frostlanders. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Maybe you can let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna seek reconciliation. Um, and I need to be a shrewd negotiator. This choice is binding. You must succeed, or your rule will end. Um, you should not encounter insurmountable obstacles on this path. Well, that's interesting. I wonder just if we have a look at the other ones. What does this say? This says the same. You should not encounter insurmountable obstacles on the path. And this one says, ooh, this path will be very difficult. Yeah, okay. We're going to go with seeking reconciliation. Um, so that's fine. We will need to seek peace. And I can't. What is going on? There's a big bright white blob in the top. I can't see if I'm paused or not. What's that about? Is that there's an error there. Did you see that? That was proposed new law, right? That's what was going on there. Right. Okay. Well, as you can see across the bottom there, that they're devoted to me. They're devoted to me. They are still favorable to me. They're just quite fervent. They're devoted to me. Um, so the thing has changed. Um, I've got 5 weeks and 3 days left to de-radicalize these nut bars. So that's fine. Um,
We are calling you, Stuart.
they've got stuff. I wonder if mobilizing the enforcers would help. Um, given that the stalwarts have just attacked people, is this going to be seen as, would these enforcers um, enforce against the stalwarts, or would this be seen as? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Don't know the answer to that one. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of things here, so we'll just have to be careful with this one. Um, we don't have a lot of money, so we can't fund anything. And they want promises and agenda items. Obviously, everyone else still thinks I'm awesome, which is fine. There's some relatively simple ways to get them across the line by building buildings and so on that the stalwarts like. So I'll need to think about that. So it says here, to start negotiations, you need to get rid of all radical laws and buildings. Right, well, I didn't know I had any radical laws and buildings. I need to negotiate a peace agreement, community action on the stalwarts. I need to use a negotiate peace agreement, community action on the pilgrims. And I need to pass the peace accords in the council. I could use the protect district ability on all districts engulfed in fighting. Is this a district engulfed in fighting? How would I know? How would I know? Is this what is this? Is this That's my stockpile hub. No, this has got ongoing fighting, so we can enforce peace. What did they say? Use protect. So I can protect these. So I can do that. District protection. So stop destruction or save lives. We want to save lives. So that's that. And there's another one. So we can definitely go with the protect. Um, right. That's the only two warring districts. So we've gone with that. So there might be a little bit of damage. I'm pretty sure we got 5,873 prefabs. I'm pretty sure we can probably fix any minimal damage. So there's a few things that I need to do and a few things that I need to do on the path to reconciliation. So and there's ongoing stuff that I need to do at Winterhome, although to be fair, Winterhome's pretty much done. I'm building some stuff to get some more cores. Like I've said, I need to get some more cores and bits and pieces, but otherwise our focus is going to be on New London. So I'm going to carry on with that. It has been a long, long trial to get here across many, many journeys. So I think I'll wrap up this with the beginning of the new chapter of chapter 5, and I will bring you in for the next episode once we have progressed a little further, or if something strange, startling, magical, or tragical happens in between. Okay, this has been a long road since we started this episode. Quite a lot of time has passed, and I have done quite a lot of things, and I've covered many, many hours of gameplay, actually. So there you go. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, hit that like, and if you're hitting that like, why not subscribe? And if you are playing the game and you have done other things, do let me know in the comments below. What have you found out? Did you choose a different way? And what does that look like? I'm probably not going to be going back and like doing every single scenario. That's not me. Not the kind of player I am. But if you have, let me know. All right, love to hear from you. And I will see you all for the next one real, real soon. Ta-ta for now.
The votes are in. The measure passes.
Right, core team, welcome back. It's chapter 5, remember? So we've achieved reconciliation. An end to the civil war. The warring factions have agreed to put aside. We have peace for now. So there you go, the city stands. We did think it was impossible. No, we didn't. We thought it was easy. Tonight we celebrate, for tomorrow we may die. Or something. The city stands. Big bold letters. The city did not fall. And I'm apparently a peacemaker. just want everybody to get along. Can't we all just be friends? Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. There's always a tagline, isn't there? Even so. Who's this? Little Nell? What's happening, Little Nell? Lily May. I was close. Thanks very much. Good. Right, there you go. That's the closing credits. So that's the I guess that's the initial campaign. We'll just skip that. Sorry to all those developers who worked really, really hard on the game. I'm sure you're awesome people, and we can see you all again another time. Right, that's the end of the, I guess, the campaign oriented part of the game. And as I have said before, there's various ways you could play that story if you want to go back and do it again. And obviously you can change the difficulty, make it harder. And I mean, in the end, it was all just about balancing stuff, research, granting funds, giving people agendas, doing a bunch of other bits and pieces in terms of mobilizing guards or not mobilizing guards, building prisons and so on and so forth and such like and thing. And most of the rest, it was just keeping it running and balancing between the two, which is not desperately hard. In the Utopia Builder side of things, there are a bunch of maps. So we've got the pit, the windswept peaks, the fractured gorge, the broken shore, the horizon, the crater, the dreadnought, the hanging rock, and each of these is obviously sort of a sandbox kind of a game, where I guess you just have to set your own goal or set your own thing, and it comes with some limitations. For example, the Dreadnought, which we've been to, is a small area, starts with access to oil but little else. So, that's going to change how you play the game. The Crater, quite large, great resources but limited calls, so you're going to have to do other stuff, and so on. The Horizon, the Broken Shore, the Fractured Gorge, the Windswept Peaks, the Pit. So, what do I think? I think it's better than the first one. I think it's more forgiving than the first one. And I'm going to play one of these maps myself, just to see how the kind of like unstructured game plays out. How does it play out? Do your choices matter? Do they not matter? I'm assuming there's a whole bunch of random events come along and various other bits and pieces, and so really explore kind of the bit of the game. Positive wise, I think the factions are quite well balanced. I think that's a very good bit of the game. I never probably really got to fully explore the research tree. There's lots of things in the research tree. It's quite massive, so I'm assuming you can play it for quite some extended period of time. The resources are come see come sa, forgiving, not forgiving. There's a few balancing things that you have to put in place. Um, that kind of stuff. There's a bit of a grind sometimes, I suppose. I guess that's to be expected. As I found out, so you need to be careful with some of the menu selection choices, but once you understand that there's ways to guide the vote and there's ways to guide different buildings and there's so on and so forth, then that's fine. There's some of those things that they don't tell you. Um, I didn't like the fact that I had to go back for the whiteout because it didn't tell me that I was going to need a bigger stockpile of fuel than I needed. It told me what fuel output I would need, but that fuel output evaporates. So really, that should be fuel stockpile. So I feel like they should probably change that to the fuel stockpile you need, not the fuel output you need. That's probably my biggest beef for the campaign. Other than that, yeah, it's fine. Seems to work fine. The graphics are fine. I didn't explore them an awful lot, but they do seem to be reasonably fine. Moving around seems to be fine. Everything else seems to be fine. It all seems to be a fine game. I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. What I probably will say though is that I've been doing this campaign as a series, obviously on my channel, like some of the other strategies and simulators and things that I've been doing. And I'm quite surprised with Frostpunk 2 being recently released that it's probably one of my lowest rated series that have been on in a while. Very much even lower rating than Transport Fever. Um, so yeah, so that's interesting. So I don't really see much point in carrying on with this as a series. If the interest picks up, if the views pick up, if people start asking a little bit more about Frostpunk 2 and what I'm doing on Frostpunk 2, that's fine. I'll probably, like I said, be playing it offline. I'll be messing around with some of these maps offline just to see what the game's like. I bought it. I'm gonna play it. So I'm not 100%er, but I'll probably pick a map and start with that map and just see what goes on and see what I can learn and da da da. But I've got other games to play and other things that I want to do, so I'll be doing that, and I won't be doing any more Frostpunk 2 unless there's an awful lot more interest in the series. So for those of you that have come along for the ride, thank you very much. Hopefully you've learned something. I've learned something. I'm glad I bought the game. It's better than the original. That's for sure. So it is better than the original, and I do like it. So I don't regret buying it. Unlike some farm simulators that I could mention. So yeah, so I'm going to carry on and move on. Thank you for joining me. Do not forget to hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you all again for another series about something real soon. Ta-ta for now.